You know, when you really sit with a chapter of scripture, sometimes it just opens up. That's what happened for us with Luke chapter 9. So today, we're going to dive in and see it not just as some ancient text, but as this living, breathing invitation, a call to a journey of apprenticeship with Jesus. And right out of the gate, Luke makes something crystal clear. Following Jesus, it's not about sitting in a classroom just passively soaking up information. No, it's active. It's a mission-based formation. The disciples aren't just studying the master, they're literally stepping into his mission. Their real classroom? Well, it's out there, in the world, right among the people. So let's get into it. The journey kicks off right away. Jesus sends out the 12, and the instruction isn't to stay put, it's to go. And he doesn't send them empty-handed. He gives them power and authority over demons and diseases. But here's the key. This power isn't for them to hoard or to keep for themselves. It's meant to be poured out for the sake of other people. And the curriculum Jesus gives them? Wow, it's radical. He tells them, take nothing for your journey. Can you imagine? No staff, no bag, no bread, not even any money. This completely strips away every single safety net they might have. It forces them into the state of, well, radical dependence on God's provision and just the simple hospitality of others. The lesson couldn't be clearer, could it? There is absolutely no mission without dependence. Okay, so after they're out on this mission, the disciples come back and they're immediately faced with a brand new test. And this one isn't about wielding power. It's about showing compassion. A huge, hungry crowd gathers. And suddenly, the disciples are confronted with two things: their own exhaustion and their very limited resources.
So as the sun starts to set, the disciples look around and all they see is a logistics problem. I mean, they're in a desolate place, right? So their solution is totally practical. Hey, let's just send the crowd away. It's the convenient thing to do. But Jesus, he sees something else entirely. He sees an opportunity for love. And then he issues this absolutely stunning command. No, you give them something to eat. He just completely overrides their convenience with this call to compassion.
And this moment right here, it just perfectly illustrates this core conflict that we all face, doesn't it? We so often operate from this mindset of human scarcity. We only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. That's our reality. But Jesus, he operates from a totally different reality, the reality of divine multiplication and God's just stunning abundance. You know, as we were talking about this passage in our own community, some really powerful, heart-orienting lessons started to emerge. Dennis, for instance, was just so struck by the directness of that command, you give them something to eat. He saw it as a call for us to be a channel for God's power. Then Stephanie pointed out how Jesus invites us to give even when we're in our own desolate places. And Dolores shared how just remembering Jesus' compassion, especially when she's exhausted, totally renews her. And all of this beautiful insight led to Cool reframing the entire challenge with this one incredible question. I mean, listen to this. Maybe I can't feed 5,000, but can I feed one person? Wow, that simple question from Cool is just, it's profound, isn't it? It completely transforms what feels like an insurmountable task into a personal, achievable act of love. It's such a powerful reminder that our apprenticeship with Jesus isn't always about solving all the world's problems at once. Sometimes it's about making a real difference in just one person's life. So, right after this incredible lesson in compassion and God's provision, Jesus completely pivots. He turns to his disciples and asks the single most important question of the entire journey. I mean, this is it. This is the question that everything else is built on. Now, remember, the crowds are just buzzing with rumors. Everyone's got a theory. Oh, he's John the Baptist risen from the dead. No, he's Elijah. But then, Jesus cuts through all the noise, and he makes it personal. He looks at them and asks, but who do you say that I am? And that's when Peter steps up and gives the answer that changes everything: the Christ of God. Okay, so now his true identity is on the table. And what does Jesus do? He immediately begins to redefine what it even means to be the Christ. He starts to lay out a path, and it's a path that does not lead to a political throne, but to a rugged, painful cross. Just look at this. In verse 22, Jesus lays out his own path. He says he must suffer, be rejected, be killed, and then be raised. Then, in the very next verse, he outlines the path for his apprentices, for you and me. Deny yourself, take up your cross daily, and follow me. The parallel is just, it's unmistakable. And it's so important. Jesus never ever asks his followers to walk a path that he hasn't first walked himself. And get this, the language Luke uses here is so incredibly intentional. Later in the chapter, during the Transfiguration, we're told that Moses and Elijah are speaking with Jesus about his departure. Well, the Greek word that's used there is exodos. Think about that. It's a direct echo of the great Exodus story from the Torah. Luke is reframing Jesus' death. It's not just a tragedy, it's a new redemptive journey, a new liberation for all of us from the slavery of sin. And that right there is the crucial point, isn't it? Jesus' path doesn't end at the cross. It ends in resurrection. His story infuses our own journeys of suffering, our own daily cross-bearing, with this incredible, profound hope and purpose. It really leaves us with a question to wrestle with. How would you and I live differently if we were absolutely certain that our current pain, whatever it is, would end in a God-given victory? So, this call to follow Jesus' path, this path of self-denial and suffering, we have to understand it was completely, radically countercultural in the first century. And let's be honest, it remains just as challenging for us today. I mean, try to put yourself in the shoes of Luke's original reader, Theophilus. He's living in the Roman world, and for him, this message was a direct challenge to his entire value system. The whole Greco-Roman culture celebrated power, status, honoring Caesar as Lord, and social acceptance. But the Jesus way? It calls for the exact opposite. Deny yourself, embrace a cross-shaped life, endure rejection, and declare that Jesus alone is Lord. It's a total 180-degree reorientation of your entire life. So as we've journeyed through Luke 9, these really clear, transformative lessons just kind of bubble to the surface, right? First, discipleship is active formation, not just passive study. Second, our scarcity, our lack, is actually an invitation for God's abundance. Third, when you truly grasp who Jesus is, it redefines your entire reality. And finally, following Jesus means embracing a cross-shaped life, because that path of self-denial actually leads to ultimate victory and real life. And then Jesus wraps up this intense chapter with this incredibly stark and powerful image. It's just an unforgettable picture of what unwavering commitment looks like. It's this call to a radical, forward-focused detachment from all those old ways of life that we're so often tempted to look back on. And so that powerful image, the hand on the plow, it leaves us with one final, heart-reorienting question we need to ask ourselves. On our own apprentice's journey, right now in a world that is just full of distractions, where is our gaze truly fixed today?